What's up, squad? This is Alec from Team APS, and I'm wishing you guys a happy Halloween with my new Vendread profile. So, a little background. If you know me, you know I'm a huge zombie fan. I love all of them: Plague Spreader, Zombie Master, Goblin Zombie, Ill Blood, all of them. And we're finally getting our new archetype, Vendread, the new ritual, and we just got new support from Circuit Break. And I've been working on this, put in my hours, I've labbed it up, and I'm really kind of proud of this build. And I want to show it to you guys. So I'll start off with the Vendreads, mandatory triple Slayer. For a long time I felt Slayer was really underwhelming just by himself, because he has his damage calculation effect where you banish a zombie from your grave and he gains 300 attack. And I just didn't think that was very special until I realized that you can actually trigger the effects of Shiranui monsters when they're banished using this effect. So he can actually be kind of annoying for your opponent to get off the board. And I'll talk more about that later. Next up is two of our new guy, Chimera. I think the only thing bad about Chimera is we don't have like more ritual spells to bring him out. He's level 5, so you can easily use like Hound Horde and Strix, which those two being probably the best Vendread effect monsters, just because they special summon really easily from grave, they synergize, and it takes a lot of pressure off Slayer, because before we were always trying to summon Slayer with both effects, but now I found it's a lot easier and makes more sense to go ahead and give like Slayer your Hound Horde effect, and Chimera maybe the Slayer effect, not the Slayer, the Revenant effect, or vice versa, whatever. But Chimera is at 2, mainly because I do want to see him, and I need a lot of Vendreads in my deck now because of like Vendread Knights, which I'll get into later. But 3 was you just see way too many blue cards. All right, next up is double Hound Horde, double Strix or Striges, and 1 Revenants. This is the ratio I work with. The idea here is because, like I said, these two are the better Vendread monsters, because they come back from the grave so easily. Because Hound Horde requires you to discard a Vendread monster or a Vendread card, and Strix, it comes back from the grave when it's sent to the grave by revealing a Vendread card in hand. So you can literally pitch Strix for Hound Horde's effect. Hound Horde will come, and as long as you have another Vendread card in hand, you can reveal it and special summon your Strix. And then Revenants is here just because, the effect he provides Slayer is really powerful. He can quick effect banish monsters. That's so powerful, you have to use it. He's just very awkward to use. But I like to get him in grave early, so that if I get the opportunity, it's just a matter of Mizuki. Let's go. Oh, and I should mention, Strix also gives your rituals an effect. It's not the greatest effect. Is that when they destroy a monster by battle, you can draw a card, then discard a card. Really simple, but it pairs well with Vendread Knights. Now, I should have called this Vendread Shiranui, because they actually play a pretty strong role in this deck through cards like Solitaire and Spirit Master. You know why Solitaire is here. He's supposed to help me get into Unizombie. And then Spirit Master's here because I like to banish things. So what's really cool, and I find I'm usually in a pretty good place if I can start doing this, is Slayer's battle effect. It lets you banish a zombie, and then he'll gain attack. Well, if your game's going well, you might have a combination of like 1 Spirit Master, 1 Solitaire, or 2 Spirit Masters, 1 Solitaire, or maybe 2 Solitaires, 1 Spirit Master, which is awful. But you will have some of these guys in the grave, so your Slayer can go, like your opponent can say, I'm gonna swing over your Slayer, activates effect and damage cal. Well, this happens actually before damage calculation. That's why it actually works. Right before. You banish Spirit Master. Spirit Master can pop a card. And yeah, if your opponent's smart, they won't attack. They won't try and do it again. But on your turn, you can now swing with your Slayer, but this time you banish your Solitaire. Your Solitaire will get his effect when he's banished. Special summon out your Spirit Master, which is good fodder for more synchro plays, and it puts your Spirit Master back in the grave, so you can keep doing this as like until you run out of Solitaires. Then triple Unizombie, the heart and soul of any zombie deck out right now. That's just kind of how it has to be. He's your speed, he's your consistency. Oh, and before I move on, he actually pairs very well with, well, like I said, the two best Vendread effect monsters, Strix and Houndhorde. Because together, they make a Trish. Now, you might be saying it's 8 stars, but remember, Unizombie does mod his level. So, if you have all you need to have in hand, really, is these guys, and let's say this any old Vendread card. You normal summon your Unizombie, use his first effect to increase level by 1, you discard your Houndhorde. Now, you use Houndhorde's effect in grave, discard Strix, special summon the Houndhorde, and then Strix effect, you reveal the Vendread card in hand and special summon him from grave. And that means 4, 7, 8, 9. That's Trish. Very simple play, doesn't cost you a whole lot. The only downside is these two will be banished at the end of that play. And depending on how you build your deck, that could be a good or a bad thing. Then the last most necessary piece for every zombie deck is your triple Mizuki. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. Now my hand traps, I run double Ash and 1 Max C. Yes, I know Ash Blossom's very expensive and she's great. But let's remember, she is a zombie. And I find myself banishing her for like Vendread Slayer's effect quite often, actually. So, and she's also a level 3 tuner, so you can bring her back with Mizuki. She does a lot more for this deck than just being, you know, the good hand trap. Now, Max C is here because it's a good hand trap. I'm not even going to go into it too much. Now we're in the spells. So, I got to play my 3 Revendread Origin and 3 pre-preps. Because if you don't see these 6... you don't play Vendread. You can play Shiranui, but you're not going to be playing Vendread. It's the deck really does depend on seeing like one of these 6 cards, and it's just necessary. It's just necessary. Now I rock our new card, double Vendread Knights and a Terraforming. So what Vendread Knights does for you is, excuse me, it allows you to discard a card to search a Vendread monster to hand. So yes, this is deck thinning, and it helps set up plays. Like for instance, it can set up that Trishula play. It can set up a ritual play if you have the ritual spell already. And when your Vendread monsters destroy a monster by battle, you can banish a zombie from your grave, or is it a monster? I think it's a... oh no, Vendread, my bad. Banish a Vendread from your grave, and your monster can now attack another monster. So, let's say you're working with a Slayer, and he has the Strix effect. That means you can attack maybe twice or even 3 times that turn, and you get to draw, discard, draw, discard, draw, discard. So this can really help out your hand, and if you're for some reason kind of missing out on an origin, let's say your opponent maybe they hit you with a Solemn or something, and it cuts you off from your source of origins, then those draws can really help out. Then triple Allure of Darkness. At first I didn't want to run it. Then I ran it at 2. Now I ran it at 3 just because you need to dig through this deck to see that ritual spell. You can play without the ritual spell, but you want to see it. Allure of Darkness is great. You run more than enough darks. And yeah, it's just solid. Then 1 Twin Twisters, because we hate back row and we love to discard. And finally, my 2 Shiranui style Swallow Slash. because its effect will pop 2, and then you can banish your Spirit Master to pop that 3rd. And that's it for my main deck. Now I'll just go straight into the extra. I play only one Link. That's Decode Talker. I don't make him all that much. Sometimes I do. He's not bad. I just wish we had like a zombie themed something or a dark themed Link monster that we could make pretty easily. And now we're going into Synchros. Our 1/6 is a Samurai Saga. He's really just a ladder piece in this, at least in my build. If I ladder, but he's not bad. He's a zombie, so he can attack if you already use your zombie's effect. He's not great, but he's decent. Then I have Moonlight, because you can make 7s pretty easily. It can kind of keep your opponent locked down if they're playing something that makes a lot of high level and special summoned monsters. So yeah, Moonlight's just another solid pick. And following Moonlight is our normal Black Rose Dragon, because wiping the board is fun, and we do play Omega, so we can actually avoid some of those board wipes. Double Omega. He's like the whole point of Shiranui, like Solitaire and whatnot. He lets you play for a lot longer than you normally could. Let you reuse your resources. Let you take things out of your opponent's hand. He just keeps you in the game until you can do that, the Slayer shenanigans. Then last 3 8s. Shogun Saga, because sometimes you need to swing even after using a Unizombie second effect. He's powerful. If you banish a Slayer, he can have 5400 attack. He can really make the difference in whether like you win or lose a game. Bells, because Unizombie's dark and he's very difficult to get off board. He's one of my favorites. And Archfiend, because he can wipe the board. He's similar to Black Rose, except your stuff might be okay depending on what their attacks are. And lastly, for Synchros is Trish. Like I said, you have the 1 combo. It can hurt your opponent if you can pull it off, and it's not hard to do. And I'm just gonna throw these Xyzs out here. Break Sword, because you can make it, and right now I can't think of any other rank 3 I'd rather play. Minerva, Milling, Baguska. He's just terribly awful. He can slow the game down to a crawl for at least 2 turns. Just if you need to buy time, Baguska can help, especially when you're trying to find that ritual spell. Tornado Dragon, he's just good. He's good, gets rid of spell and traps. And Lancelot, he's a rank 8 zombie, because sometimes double Omega isn't doing anything anymore. If you have all your resources back in the grave, but your opponent gives you a field that you can't do anything against with your 2 Omegas, you can just rank 8. And this guy, he can be Hope Harbinger. He can't be Zombie Stein, I wish. But he can be Hope Harbinger. Any rank 8 will do. But sometimes when you're doing your double Omega shenanigans, there's just nothing else. Well, that's it for my profile. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any comments or even advice, just throw it in the comments. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And hit the notification bell. Join the notification squad. Pass turn.